So for anybody that is new here, my name is Brittany Porter. I am a energy healer and a spiritual coach. For anybody that's going to be watching this on YouTube later, I'm on a TikTok live right now and I'm talking to people in the comments, so that is who I'm speaking with. And so we are going to be talking about guilt and abandonment. Everybody's like favorite topics, right? So that is something that I have been continuously working on for years because I have some like very deep rooted abandonment issues. Okay. Hey, hello. But I have some very, very deep rooted abandonment issues. Okay. So I'm going to give a little like backstory about why these have occurred and why I have these, and then where we're at today. Okay. So when I was younger, me and my sister grew up with our grandparents. Our grandparents raised both of us. My younger sister is a couple years younger than me, so she doesn't remember as much. Like with my mom was very much in and out of my life, like constantly. Like she would come and visit and then like have me for a day or two and then like drop me off and then wouldn't see her for like 6 or 7 months and like just kept it going, right? And so I remember times in my life I was just so incredibly sad, and like that is the root of the abandonment. Like I was very, very young when that was happening. And so what eventually happened was my grandparents adopted me and my sister. I was 12 and she was 9. It was very expensive. It was like $20,000 to adopt both of us, and my mom like fought them the whole entire way on it. It was this like huge, long out drawn thing, right? And what ended up happening was I went to court with them, and I had to speak to the judge and tell him like in front of all these people and everything that I didn't want to be with my mom. And it was very traumatic. Very, very traumatic. Okay, my mom had like a breakdown, meltdown. That's not the whole point of the story, but my grandparents would talk constantly about how stressed they were about money. Like we were so underneath the poverty line. Like we had like nothing. Like we never went and did anything. I was homeschooled until 9th grade, right? And so like always stressed and talking about money. And they were always talking about how much the adoption costs, right? And complaining about that all the time. So I have done an immense amount of shadow work, like immense. And it took me years to get to the space where I figured out where my self-limiting beliefs of money were coming up. Like I had major, major, major blocks, right? And so I remembered when I did a past like version regression to like meet with a past version of myself, not past life version, but this version. I remember in my kitchen hearing my grandparents talk about money, and then in my subconscious, it's my fault. It's my fault that they have no money because my mom couldn't take care of me and abandoned me, and so now they're having to dish out all they have and to take care of me and my sister. And I carried that with me through life. Like I didn't even know it was there. It was way deep down in there, okay? And so I worked through it. I have helped her heal. We let go of a lot of that energy, right? This morning, I wake up and I'm kind of like in a meditative state. I don't know if anybody else is kind of like laid there in bed and you're just like not awake, but you're kind of awake. And she starts to show me all of a sudden out of nowhere. I don't know if it's new moon today, and happy new moon, everybody. I don't know if it's a new moon, but she starts to show me images and memories of my mom dropping me off with my grandparents and like leaving me there and me crying, like just crying, saying, why can't you stay? Why do you always leave? Right? Just like so upset. I was like 4 or 5. Like, and I still remember those things, but I said, why are you showing me this? Like, thank you so much. Like, I'm so happy that you're showing me these, but like, why are you showing me? And I said, are you worried that money is going to abandon us like mom? And she said, absolutely yes. She said, I don't trust money. She said, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anything. I don't care what anybody says to me. I don't trust it. I know that they're going to leave. And I said, do you think that we still have relationships in our life that is causing like abandonment, or they're abandoning us? And she said, yes. And I was like, listen, sweetie, I love you so much, and thank you so much for coming up today. Like, I'm so proud of you. We don't have any type of relationships like that, like at all. All of the people in our life are very safe, secure relationships. We love them so much, and they love us, and they support us, and they encourage us. You don't need to protect us anymore. Okay, I do that. I am the protector of all of our inner beings, and me now, and you, right? Like, that is not your responsibility, and we do not even have those type of relationships. And I said, okay, so we are worried money is abandoning us, right? Especially because, like, our track record of, like, all those self-limiting beliefs and how that all, like, built up over the years was very affirming in the past, even though I've made, like, leaps and bounds with abundance and prosperity, right? So I said, let's do an exercise, and this might help everybody here. Okay, with your inner children, if you have self-limiting beliefs around money, like money is the root of all evil, you know, whatever. Okay, so yes, positive thoughts. So I said, let's do an activity. I said, we're gonna breathe in and breathe out. Okay, so everybody can do that now, okay? And I said, oh, my alarm. And I said, were you worried that you were not going to have another breath? And she said, no. And I said, you know that you're going to have another breath after you take that one, right? And she was like, yep. And I said, that's money. Money is air. Money is always available to us. Like, anytime that we want to bring it in, it comes in. It's not even something that we have to think about. It's just there. I said, money is not a person. Money isn't doing anything. It is literally an energy, right? And I said, it can come in, come out, however much you want to let it in. And I said, you have this such big fear that it's going to abandon us. And what's happening is her, right? Like, not a judgment thing, but she's pushing money away from us because it makes her feel safe and like or unsafe, and it's going to abandon her. And I said, let's hold our breath. Okay, instead of breathing in and breathing out. So I said, let's hold our breath. And I said, okay, let go. And I said, that is fear. When you hold on too tightly for money, you can't breathe, right? You can't get another breath. Or the fear that it's not coming to you. It makes you constrict, right? Like, we have to look at money just like an energy form, comes in and comes out, not a person. Okay, so this is how self-limiting beliefs work. Like, you find one, right, and then you integrate it, and then you're doing great. Like with me, prosperity and abundance has been really good, right? And then all of a sudden it's like and I didn't know that there was a whole nother layer under that. Like, I finally found the very root cause of it this morning. Like, I had no idea that my inner child had associated abandonment with money. I knew there was shame, I knew there was guilt, and we have worked through that over the years, and we're doing great. And then she pops up with that this morning, and I was like, oh, there it is. And I was like, thank you so much for coming forward today and showing me that. Like, it was very difficult. Like, I'm emotional now. It was so difficult to sift through those memories and re-experience that with her. But now, like, working with my inner children for like so long in my inner beings, consciousness forms, I could kind of detach from it a little bit and be the higher self to her, and like the coach and the friend and the mother that she needed, right? And be like, we just need to reframe things a little bit. So there's a part 2 to this that just happened like an hour ago that I'm gonna weave in here as well. Okay, I'm gonna read some of these before I get to part 2. You're absolutely amazing. I'm so proud of how far you've come. Keep going. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. This is so hard, but I've learned from you to let the fear, worry about money go and invite confidence. Yes, absolutely. It's so funny because I'm the same way with money and just tuned in. Great. Okay, I figured this would help. Hey, Jenny. So this might help you with your inner children and that self-limiting belief. Like, this part 1 and part 2 is to have this conversation with them that money is the exact same thing as air. We can always breathe it in. We can always invite it in. It's always there for us. Always. Right? But we can't push it away in fear that it's not coming back. Money equals trust. As an energy form, money is trust. So you have to have trust in it for it to come in, right? So I am like in the shower earlier because I wanted some like clarity. Highly recommend if you need clarity, getting in the shower. And I said, you know what? Let's do an activity. Younger me. Okay. everyone usually has a problem with money at some time or another. Yeah, it has a lot to do with like things our parents say, generational trauma, societal capitalism. There's like so many things that go along with that, right? And that's another thing. Like, it's not my inner child's fault that we're experiencing this. It's not. And it's not your inner child's fault either. It's not your self-limiting beliefs fault. It's literally external environmental things that have imposed those on you. Now, it's our responsibility to heal it and to work through it, but we have to kind of like release them from that and say it's not your fault at all. And thank you for protecting me. Like, she was doing what she thought was best by pushing it away so it wouldn't hurt me, but like, a child doesn't understand how that's actually hurting you, like in the here and now. Like, we're doing the opposite of what you're intending, right? And so I had to explain it. So part 2. So I'm in the shower, and I said, I'm going to ask my inner child to come forward, and we're going to invite money in, okay? Let me get some water here. We talking. Okay, so we're going to invite money in. I said, I want you to invite money in as a person form, because I'll get to that. But I said, invite her in as a consciousness form. And my inner child said, I thought you said money's not a person, from part 1, right? And I said, money's not a person. It's literally an energy form. I said, but when we ask energy to meet us in human form, sometimes it's easier to speak with them, because it's like we have somebody to like talk to, right? And I said, let's do whatever you're comfortable with. Like, it can literally be anything. And she said, how about a bunny? And I said, great. We're going to make money a bunny, okay? Like a little cute little white bunny. And I said, let's invite the bunny to a tea party. Okay, like a fun, sit down tea party where we're all gonna get dressed up. So me and her got dressed up, and I said, let's write the bunny a letter. Okay, I said, we are inviting you to our tea party that is starting right now. And so we sent it like etherically through the mail. And then we sat down at the table, and I said, okay, we're calling the bunny in. And so the bunny all of a sudden appears at the table. It's got like a hat, and it's got like, it's all dressed up for the tea party, very excited. And I said, see, the bunny came. You asked the bunny to come, and now it's here. I said, that is money, right? Here's another layer. I said, oh my gosh, that's Pinky, the bunny. I said, that is the bunny that my mom got me when I was little. So she had got me a pet bunny when I was like maybe 6 or 7. And it was this cute white bunny, and I named it Pinky because it had like this really bright pink nose. And we only had it for a day. It bit my finger, and I had very tiny fingers. I still have tiny fingers. It bit my finger, and she was afraid it was going to bite my finger off, and so she rehomed it immediately. And my inner child said, see, that is another example of how we're always abandoned. And I said, whoa. I said, okay. I didn't even remember that. That was like a memory that was like so far deep back in my subconscious, right? And I said, that's not true though. Like, Pinky showed up for us. He is here right now in front of us. I said, even though Pinky couldn't stay with us like in the physical, realm or life, Pinky is here to stay with us now. You can hang out with Pinky, you can play with him, have fun. Like, he's always here. Anytime that you want to call him, he will be here. Okay. And I said, listen, and this is where deep subconscious work comes in. Okay, like very deep subconscious work, is I am creating an anchor point in my consciousness. And so I said, when you start getting afraid of money or abandonment, Pinky is going to show up to prove to you and show to you that those things are not going to happen, and they're always going to be here for you. And she was so excited. She was so happy. She was so happy to have like a little familiar, if any of my witchy friends are in here, but to have like a pet familiar to like help her feel safe and grounded. And so what happens now, and I do this a lot with my like past versions, like we all have, like depending on, whom they are, we have different location points like that. So when I, in the present, start getting afraid of, money or lack or, abandonment things, I can go back in and say, hey, Inner Brittany, like, remember, Pinky is here for you. Like, Pinky is here to show you that we are okay, we are safe. He will come whenever you call him, right? You gotta like really break it down for children. Like when you're working with your inner children, like super break it down. So now she knows that money is air and money is a bunny, and they're always there for her, right? And so when I did that, I felt a huge release, like a huge energetic release. I felt her just like breathe in like new life. And she's like, oh, I am safe. Big Brittany, me, is protecting her. And she is coming in to help me when I feel scared. And she is coming in to like be the mom and the support to me when I need it. Because she really needed it today. She was showing me all those memories. And sometimes those memories come up and we don't want to feel them, because it hurts like very deeply. Like that was some heavy like stuff I was going through earlier when I woke up. It was like right when I woke up, and I could have like said, I don't want to deal with that right now, or you know, like we'll take care of that later, or I don't want to feel that. But what that would have done is like suppressed her even more and told her, you're not worthy of like being looked at right now. I don't have time for that, right? But what I did was I embraced that and I said, okay, what's going on? Let's take a deep dive into this, right? It wasn't something that lasted like 4 hours. It was literally a 30-minute conversation with her when I woke up, very quickly, and then in the shower it was like 15 minutes. And we feel so much better, like me and her, right? But that, yes, having these kind of conversations with your inner child is such a relief. Yeah, you can be the support to them that they didn't have. And I don't want to make this sound like it is something that just happens overnight. And sometimes it does. This is like me working on this for like years of unraveling and untangling those things, because sometimes like our inner children's subconscious, right, sometimes they will block us from seeing those things because they don't want us to be hurt. They don't want us to relive and experience that, right? So if she had shown me that a year ago, right, I wouldn't have been able to understand it at all, because I first had to get to shame and guilt with my grandparents adopting me and like disseminating that, and then going down to the abandonment with my mom. It works in like layers like that. Okay. What do we do when our inner child is angry? So if your inner child is angry, what I would suggest is to sit with them. Like if you know that they're in there and they're like screaming and raging, like it gets worse if you do not sit with them. Like what I do now when I feel them coming up and triggered or whatever it is, sad, angry, or happy, I say, let's sit and feel this. You can do whatever you need to. You can scream as loud as you need to up here. Okay, like you can do whatever you want up here. Sometimes it's great to give them a piñata, like an etheric piñata to like hit, right? Because sometimes like that physical is really great. Every inner child is different. But if you sit with them and say, hey, we're gonna feel this, and when you're done, I'm gonna be here for you. Sometimes it's not a 3-hour thing. Sometimes it's like 2 minutes. And you say, I'm here. Whenever you are done feeling that emotion, I'm here to support and love you. And you're going to feel it in your body. You are going to feel your central nervous system kick on. You're going to feel like your body is on fire, especially with anger. You are going to feel it. You have to feel it to release it. That is all your inner child is saying, like, hey, I have too much energy in here and I need to get it out. And the only way that's going to come out is for you to feel it. And just like with my inner child, if I had told, like, she was so sad, like so sad. And I was feeling it in my body. I can feel it right now. Just awful. And I could have told her, like, we're not going to have that today. And it would just made it so much worse. She'd be like, okay, well then I guess I shouldn't show you those memories. And I guess we shouldn't work through that. And like make her feel small, like we did when we were little, from other people in our life, right? But me acknowledging her and her feelings and letting her use my now physical body to let her process her emotions helps both of us. It helps her release. It helps me release. I felt a huge release when I just let her go through that and show me all those things and feel it with her. Seeing her twice throwing tantrums. Let her throw the tantrum. Sit with her as an observer, not intermeshed. This is why breaking them off as like different consciousness forms is so helpful, because you can now come in and be like, hey, I see you, I love you, you are seen, heard, and validated. I am here to help you when you need it. Okay? And I also want to say this, like, healing is a journey. Like, I think a lot of times, like, with people that I work with, like clients and things like that, or just people I interact with, they're like, well, I thought I got through all these self-limiting beliefs and now, like, and I was good, but now, like, here we go again. It's always like that. It's like more things that you can untangle. Like, even with me, I thought like the guilt and shame was the main core root of everything, and now here we go. But like, I was talking to my friend earlier, and I said, I'm so thankful that she came up and showed me that stuff so I can let it go. Like, thank you. Like, I know that was rough for both of us this morning, but like, we are feeling so much better after that experience. And that was really brave of her. You gotta thank your younger selves too, and like say, oh, thank you. That is so cute. I love that. Thank you very much. Hey, Kimberly. Thank you. I appreciate it. My inner child just loved that. And good to see you. And so we got to thank them and honor them. Like, that was really brave of her. She was like a 4 or 5 year old child that came up and said, I need your help. Like, I'm sad. Right? And so we have to honor and respect them and thank them for being brave and courageous. So I wanted to share this in case it helps anybody else with your inner child. And oh, hey, Ray. Good to see you too. Hey, in case it helps you with your inner child, maybe like the air example for money, right? Or, you know, asking it to come meet you in a human form at a tea party. It may sound weird, but a nice way to treat your inner child is getting a Happy Meal. I love that. Yes, there's so many things that we can do to like gift to our younger selves. Like, sometimes I'll be like, as an adult, like, oh, it's not rational. Like, I could do something else, right? But it's not for me. Is for them. Right? Like, building that relationship and that bond. Okay. So hopefully this helps somebody with your self-limiting beliefs. And it just had never occurred to me before that abandonment could equate money. Like, I knew that shame and guilt could, but abandonment was like a whole nother layer. And like, that also showed me where she was at, like in an energetic timestamp of thinking that we still had relationships like that. And I was like, honey, no, we don't do that. We do not have anybody like that anymore. I know that's happened to us in the past, but those days are over because I got us. Like, there is nobody in our life that is treating us that way anymore. Okay, so you gotta trust me. Okay, so if you feel like that you are having issues or so working through things with shame, guilt, abandonment, I would love to have a conversation with you. You can apply to my one-on-one healing program if you want to go a little bit deeper. So like I said, I don't want to make this sound like this is an overnight thing. This is taking me a long time to do. I went to school for psychology because I wanted to figure out how to let go of a lot of the trauma things that I went through and figure out like how my mind works. And then I got into energy healing to do that like soul level healing, right? And it's taken me like doing a lot of readings with people and soul work and working on my subconscious to get to this point to release those things. But you can do that too. Sometimes you just need a guide to help you because we're so intermeshed in our own situations that sometimes it's difficult to see like how things are correlated. Like that bunny situation, that was directly correlated to my money, and sometimes it's hard to see how those things interweave with one another, right? And so if you need some help, like I said, feel free to reach out to me or apply to my healing program. Those are things that I specialize in and love helping people with because, well, I've been through it too. Shadow work is that's a great question, Lucy. Shadow work is your shadow self. So it's all of like the self-limiting beliefs that are like holding you back from you reaching like your potential, right? I'm gonna say that quote unquote potential. The things that you're capable of. It's also like trauma work, like helping your inner children heal, just anything that is like feels like heavy and dense that needs to be taken out of your energy body or like your mind or your subconscious. So like working on those things. And fun can be shadow work. I think a lot of people miss that a lot of us who experienced trauma as a child did not get to have fun. Like, I also have a lot of religious trauma because I grew up in a very, 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 very strict Christian household. And nothing against Christians. Okay, I love Jesus too. But the way I was raised was very demeaning towards women and like make you feel small and like less than, right? And I was also isolated from like everyone because I was homeschooled until 9th grade. And so like I didn't get a lot of fun because I also had very overbearing parents and abandonment issues from my mom. And so like me having fun now, like doing super fun things like going to amusement parks, blowing bubbles, doing chalk art, coloring is just as healing for me as shadow work, as intense trauma work. Like, if not even more healing. Okay, we can give, you know, like our inner children and younger selves, like that joy and whimsy and magic that some of us were not able to have when we were children. So healing. I know my blockages are from childhood trauma, grew up too quick, no fun. Yeah, especially if you had a lot of responsibility and a lot of pressure put on you. When you were a child, it's like you're like a mini adult walking around at like 7 or 8 years old. And it makes you feel very disconnected from your peers when you were younger too. Like, I didn't start school until 9th grade, which was also very traumatic because I had no social like capabilities at that point. That can disconnect you from other people, other children, because you're like so so different from everybody because of all the responsibilities. You're not looking through a child lens, you're looking through an adult lens, right? Which isn't always like super fun to be around like kids are like mini adults. Right? We've been through a lot, right? Yes. Yeah, so that's why giving them that now, so beneficial. Like so healing. Shadow work can become very toxic if you're like looking at trauma all the time, right? Like that can be just as harmful as the trauma itself. Is just like picking. You gotta balance it out with fun and having a good time and like enjoying life. Like I've gotten into those pits before while all I've been doing is shadow work, and then it became like very toxic because my spirit guides were like, you picking at things that don't need to be picked at. Like, why don't you go like play volleyball or have fun instead? I like the idea of playing. Yes. Yeah. Little things that and like, if you have a difficult time thinking like, how can I hang out with my inner child? Ask them, like literally ask them, like ask 5-year-old you, ask 10-year-old you, 12-year-old you, 14-year-old you. The inner teens are way different. I'm still trying to connect with my inner teen. I'm doing good with the inner children. My inner teen's very angry still. She went through a lot. And so ask them, say, what do you want to do? 5-year-old me, like go inside. What would be fun for you? And then do it with them. Give her childhood back. Absolutely. That's something that I have been working on that's helped me with them in my subconscious is, hey, I know we didn't get a lot of have fun when we were a kid. Let's do that now. I'm here to go do those things with you. Okay. We are like best friends now. Okay. I'm the best friend that you always wanted. Okay, everyone. What time is it? 4:23. Okay, so this is gonna be the replay of this is gonna be up on my YouTube, and there's a link in my bio if you want to check it out if you weren't here for the whole thing. I am going to take like a little break, and then I'm going to be coming back on to do Reiki and some light language to help release abandonment, fear, and shame and guilt on like an energetic level after we've been talking about the mind level here with the subconscious. Again, if you want to go deeper with this and you want to work one-on-one, there are links in my bio for my healing program. I also do readings as well, like energy readings. If you have any questions about the things that I talked about today, always feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. It's Soulharmonymagic. There's a link in my bio. If you follow me, it lets you know when I do these in the future. I do workshops, Reiki healing, light language, all the fun things. So I will see some of you back here in a little while. Bye.